Hello everybody, this is another tutorial using Gravit Designer. This time we're going to be doing a minimalist background that's going to be using mountains and hills instead of a cityscape. You can see the previous video is for the cityscape in the iCard right here. And what you want to do is you want to go to one of your whatever photo site you use. I'm using pexels.com, a free photo site that has a lot of really cool photos in it. And I'm going to find 3 photos of mountains that I like and download those to my computer. When you get over here to your Gravit Designer, I'm going to go ahead and create a 1920 by 1080 canvas. You can make whatever size you want. I'll press create here, and we'll just go ahead and just keep everything the same here, pixels, RGB, and 72 pixels per inch. Let's go ahead and pop in our first photo. So this should be available over here in my downloads. There we go. Let's take a look at this one, open up that one, and we've got our first image. There it is. Okay, so I figure what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this sort of be front and center, or maybe even dominating the background of it. So I'll make this a good deal bigger and have this sort of a kind of there. Now we're going to be using the Bezier pen tool. I'm going to go ahead and lock this picture down so I don't accidentally move it around. So with your Bezier pen, recall you've got a couple different ways of using it. You can, of course, just make straight lines, holding down Shift and creating, constraining it to different angles and stuff, and create your shape that way. I don't really want that though. So I'll just get rid of that. The other way, of course, is to click and then hold it down and drag, and that way you create this this curve. And every time you drag, you continue on that curve. Obviously, at any point you want to create a single angle, you could just click and not drag, and it'll create a sharp angle there. While you're using the Bezier pen tool, you obviously can begin your curve. Say, for instance, like this. Hold down the Alt key and then move your direction line in a different direction, and then continue your curve in case you have multiple curves that are going to be kind of at odds with one another. Finally, once you have your stuff down, if you hold down the Control button, or rather if you go get your direct or sub-select tool, you can then move your curves around a little bit that way. Especially, it works the same way even if you have little direction lines applied to them. So letter P on the keyboard to bring up your pen tool here, and then with D on the keyboard, you can grab the anchor points and the direction lines, and you can move those around. So just keep that in mind, and what we'll do is we'll just get it real close here, and I'll just get my pen tool. So hold down Control and roll up with the mouse wheel. I'll just get my pen tool here, and it should zoom me along. At any point, if you want to move the canvas around, just hold down the space bar here. I'll go ahead and save this to the cloud so it doesn't interrupt me, but I'll just call this Minimalist Mountains, and we're going to create some mountains, we'll create some hills, and then we'll create a little sunset or nighttime sky, depending on what we're feeling with this. So here we go. Let's jump on in. I'm gonna start into this, and then I'll just speed through. Just recall once again, we're just gonna click and find a point at which things sort of begin to kind of change directions, and we'll just kind of point this in a certain direction here. And I'll just curve this around. If you don't get it exactly, it's not a big deal. Just make sure that you've got things happening in such a way that you're not going to have any sort of harsh points pushing into your mountainside here. So I'm just going to do this as best I can, and I'll start speeding it up here. All right, so we got this. With this first mountain done, I'll go ahead and just color it some color, say for instance blue, and I'll take the border away. So just get it to 0, and I'll lock this down for now, and I'll unlock this guy and just delete this. So we can kind of see that if you get granular enough, obviously you don't have to get super intense on it, but it looks kind of cool. I'll go ahead and make that invisible and add in the next picture here. So next picture. Just jump that in, and I'll just probably have this fill the entire screen here. So once I get this in, I'll just hold down this and just roll Shift and Alt just to make this bigger, wide enough to fill up the entire screen. And this has a couple different mountain ranges in it, so you could just, I could pick and choose whichever one I want. I think I'll just choose this one in the middle distance here just to kind of keep it consistent. So let me just zoom in here, space bar, drag it over here, get my pen tool, I'll lock this in place. And I'll once again speed things up so we can kind of jump along to the next bit. Okay, cool. So we've got that done. Let's go ahead and change this color. I'll change something like green for now, and I'll take the stroke away. The borders off. 0 there for borders. And let's just see how this kind of stacks up. Now I'll take this, I'll just go ahead and delete this right here, and I'll make this visible. And we can kind of see how these two kind of interact with one another. Oh, it's kind of neat. Alright, got that mountain kind of hanging out there. We can rearrange them in different ways once we get to a certain point here. So what does this look like? Let's unlock this. Kind of cool. Alright, fun. Alright, so we'll do one more, and then we'll do, maybe we'll do a series of hills, just to kind of flesh this out. Alright, let's back this up. There's our guy here. Back to this guy. And is this the same photo? Same photographer. Okay, here we go. Cool. I like this picture a lot. This is fun. Alright, so here we go. I'll make this the same width as the photo. And then we'll jump right in here. Let's just go ahead and I'll just speed this up. All right, so here we go. We got the last one done. I'll go ahead and lock this and just get rid of this right here. Unlock this. And I'll get this one colored. Let's color it, say for instance, red here. And then we'll just sort of pull this down. We can kind of see where things lie. So I think maybe I could just sort of switch this up just to make it a little bit easier to see the difference here. Oh, this is kind of neat. I like this. Maybe I'll just take this guy and flip him around, flip horizontally, drag him this way. Gonna have a bit of a, alright, that looks kind of cool. And obviously, you can once you'll have something different from what I've got right here, depending on what photo you used. And the one thing you just definitely don't want to do, you don't want to have any of these like sort of flat edges showing through, and you don't want to have any strokes visible here. So let's make sure that all the strokes are gone. 0. Okay, cool. Right, neat. All right, so the last thing I'll do is I'll add in. Well, the next thing I'll do is I'll add in some hills here in the front. So I'll just over on here just grab my pen tool and just start into anything. I'm just going to make some sort of like real swooping kind of like shapes like this. Like so, and I'll color this something different, say for instance like bluish like that. I'll do the same thing over here, just kind of cover up some of these jagged edges like so. And I think maybe one more over this way. Some go up, some go down like that. Just real easy looking hills. And maybe one more. And it's kind of hard to see these right now because they're kind of blocked off by the like this. Okay, cool. They're all the same color, but what we'll do is we'll color them all together here. So let's go over here to any kind of palette generator. I'm going to go to color.adobe.com. I'm going to go over here and I'll just search, say for instance, yeah, I think Moonlight might be a good one. I saw that was suggested here. So you can kind of look through this and see about some Moonlight stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and just download this as a JPEG. I'll get some colors that are a little bit okay, let's think here. I like this one right here. This is kind of fun. Seaside Moonlight. And we'll just go back over here to our design. We'll drag this off to the side. went into multi-page mode there. So what we'll do is just one by one, kind of put these. I'm gonna have it go from dark in the front to light in the back here. So it'll be, because as we get closer to the moon here, we'll get lighter in the back. So I'll just start over here. I'll just have this be that color. And over here, a little bit lighter. Oh, the layers. Fill. And this one right here. And then these guys, I can make these guys a variety of colors. I'll just what I'll do is I'll make them darkest in the front. So let's click on this one here, and I'll just start here, and then the rest of these I'll pull through the same color, but I'll go over here to my fill, and I'll just lighten it up slightly. There we go. Same thing here. I'll just lighten this up a little bit. Somewhere in between this color and this color right here. A little bit lighter. All right, cool. Like that. And then last thing I'll do is I'll add in a rectangle here. So let's go over here to our rectangle tool. And, well, not quite the last thing. I keep saying last thing, but it's not quite the last thing here. And I'll just pick that to the bottom, Control Shift and down, put that down on the bottom. I'll fill that up with like a dark color like this, maybe even more purplish. I can even just sort of navigate around here and change it to a different color here. Okay. That's good, and then we'll add a little moon here. The way I'm going to make a moon is I'll use this little greenish color here. I'll get my ellipse tool. I'll just draw a ellipse right here in the middle, and I'm going to first I'll color it like this. I'll color this color here. I'm going to take the opacity down to, say, for instance, 20%. 20% or so. 20. And then I'm going to copy and paste it once. So let's go Control C, Control V, and I'll just Alt Shift drag it. So I'm going to zoom in some. Alt Shift drag it, and then once again Control C, Control V, Alt Shift and drag. Control C, Control V, Alt Shift and drag, and then I should be about here. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. Control C, Control V, and then just a little bit more of that. Okay. Fun. And let's get all these ellipses here, these 5 ellipses, and just group these together. And I'll drag them back behind my mountains, so that way they're just hanging out there. And then we could just move this where we want, like here, for instance. Above the moon. There we go. So we have a little moon with some haze to it. I like the colors. I like how the colors go. Okay, I'll take off my multi-page view, and I'll go over here to File, Export as a JPEG, and I'll call this one Minimalist Mountains, and I'll save this. It'll be my downloads here. So if I look at my downloads, let's take a look and see what we did. What have we done? Gorgeous. All right, very cool. Well, I can't always see you guys produce, and I'll see you next time.